Participation House says the COVID-19 outbreak at the Markham facility is now over. The home for adults with developmental disabilities first declared the outbreak in April. 95% of the residents caught the virus. 6 residents died. Joining us now to talk more about this and what's going to happen going forward is Markham Mayor Frank Scarpitti. Mr. Mayor, good to talk to you this afternoon. How are you doing?
Good, Nick. Good to talk to you.
All right, so let's talk about Participation House. That was obviously something that was so serious. So many people were concerned about what's going on there. How are you feeling when you got the news that it's now been declared, the outbreak has been declared over at Participation House?
Well, obviously, we join all of the family members who have family at Participation House. We're extremely relieved that this outbreak is finally over. To be honest about it, I think when you take a look at what they've been through, the residents there and their families have been to hell and back. And I got to get this in. I got to say thank you to Shelley Brillinger, the executive director at Participation House, the staff who were healthy enough to continue to provide care, Dr. Jane Philpott, who really came to the rescue to help out in this crisis, and of course to the doctors and professionals at Markham Stouffville Hospital and York Region EMS, and of course the community that responded in such a big way, that donated personal protective equipment, donated meals. They were really supportive. Participation House was very, very grateful that they were not alone in this battle. So absolutely relieved today.
That's definitely some good news in the wake of the pandemic, indeed. I want to ask you also, Mayor Scarpitti, about the province's announcement today about the reopening into stage 2. Of course, Markham, being part of York Region, won't be included in that at this point. But what is your sense of what this means, where this is going, and how do you feel about the fact that, unfortunately for Markham and York Region, you're not included?
Nick, I just one last thing on Participation House. I just want to say that I am calling on the province, though, to include supportive housing residences like Participation House in the independent review that's being conducted for long-term care. I think those that are most vulnerable in our community deserve the same level of review that the long-term care facilities are getting. So I am calling on the province to do that. In terms of the stage 2, I thank the province for being thoughtful. I've said for the past several weeks that decisions moving forward should be based on data, should be based on local information and some of the experience around the world. And I think in other parts of the world, we did see some countries take sort of a geographic approach to reopening. And when you consider, for example, Italy is no bigger than Southern Ontario. When you consider the vastness of this province, I think, again, based on data and what's happening in certain communities, that's a wise approach. I will say, though, that in the Greater Toronto area, we do need consistency, and I'm glad to see that the province continues to take the lead on what the rules are, because I think it would create absolute confusion to have one set of rules in one city in the GTA and a different one in another city. And I also will say, some really good news. What we heard today, that the Alcohol and Gaming Commission has been given the flexibility to allow patios, outdoor patios, to be extended without those establishments having to apply for a permit. So when you combine now what the government of Ontario is allowing restaurants to do, along with what we're doing here in the city of Markham, and we're holding a public meeting on Thursday night, we are going to be permitting outdoor patios to be expanded. You don't have to apply for a rezoning. You don't have to apply for a site plan. There'll be no fees associated with that. And I know that sounds like a bad boy commercial, Nick, but these are positive steps that are being taken to help restaurants and actually small businesses as well that want to expand some of their activity on into the outdoors.
Well, we certainly know how much they have been suffering. Well, it's been great to talk to you, Markham Mayor Frank Scarpitti. Thank you for your time this afternoon.
Thank you, Nick.